Natasha Buck, Deepak Dillon, Ben Draper, and Maria Allen, and we're interviewing Barry Spitz.
Can you tell us about the women's movement involved with the Dipsy?
I'm glad you brought that up because I don't think there's anything more historically significant than the role that the Dipsy race has played in advancing women in sports. Women were not allowed to participate in a lot of things, but distance running was one of them. Until the early 1970s, women could not participate in the distance running. There weren't very few high school sports. I won't go into all that. But the Dipsy race recognized something different. In 1918, they started a women's Dipsy hike. They had to call it a hike because they couldn't call it a race because that wouldn't be allowed. So they called it a hike, but it was a real race. And it actually outdrew it had more participants than the men's race. It only lasted 5 years. This is a wonderful picture of a lady from Mill Valley who won it twice and is in the Dipsy Race Hall of Fame now, Emma Ryman. And their times, even in outfits like this, and you can see the shoes, were comparable to what a decent runner would run today. And they had hundreds of women. The highest year, I think, they had 400 women in this. So the Dipsy race was a pioneer in women's running. And then even in the regular race itself, they made them stop after 5 years. So it was dangerous for women to run. They would not be able to have children. It would hurt their reproductive system. That it was unseemly for women to do this. And the newspaper that sponsored it stopped. But women started running even as early as 1950 and in the 60s. Before they were officially allowed in any races, women were running in the Dipsy and nobody was pulling them out. There's a famous incident in the Boston Marathon of a woman trying to run and she was pulled out physically. And that got a lot of attention and helped the women's movement. But the Dipsy race was a pioneer in women's sports.
Have you ever run the Dipsy race?
I have never run the official Dipsy race. I work it every year. Since 1981, I've been the announcer for 26 years. I have run, they have an official practice Dipsy, it's called. I have run the double Dipsy, and I have run once the quadruple Dipsy, but I have never run the actual Dipsy race.
What place did you come in?
I did pretty well in the quadruple Dipsy. I was very proud of that. That was in 1987. And I don't remember my place, but I did pretty good. It was 5 hours and 31 minutes, I think. It was not bad for 4 crossings.
The quadruple Dipsy is...
It's 4 crossings. The regular Dipsy just goes from, from Mill Valley to Stinson Beach. It's 7 miles. It's got 2,300 feet of ups and 2,300 feet of down. All of it's steep and virtually not a level step. Very difficult because of the handicaps. It starts. It's very crowded. The slower runners, the older runners, start first. So the younger runners have to pass them on narrow trails. And it's a dangerous race.
Did you know Jackson personally?
I did. I got to visit him in Mariposa, and a wonderful story. This was in 1993. My daughter Sally was 2 at the time, and I really was looking forward to this visit because he had an incredible memory. He remembered all the times and the names of all the people from the 30s, so I was very excited about talking to this late. It certainly would help my book. But all he wanted to do was play with my little redheaded daughter Sally and show her flowers and So I got a lot out of it, but that was a memory that he was happy to play with her. He lived without, he had no electricity, he had no telephone, he had no house. He lived in his Volkswagen Bugs. He was a real character, this guy. And they now are putting a plaque. They've redone the top flight of steps, and the topmost step, which I told you that quote about Dipsy runners, is now going to have a plaque dedicated to him. And this is going to happen in the next couple of days, actually, this month.
Okay, that's all the questions we have. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Good luck on this, guys.